Okay, Geoff, Sham, Noah, we've won the League Division One Cup, 3-1 against SE Dons or Forest Hill Park, as they're known probably for the last time. That must feel pretty good, pretty a great end to the season. Maybe start with Geoff, just as a reaction.
Um, yeah, and listen, I think what I told the players beforehand, and obviously building up in the week, we've got a lot of people coming, so we can't really let them down. And really, it's a big thank you to all the fans, the supporters who've travelled up and down the way with us. Some, again, no disrespect to their place, but terrible places and tend to get to Staplehurst, Elmhurst, these places. They're really difficult, and we've always had support there. And sometimes our performances have not sort of replicated, the support. So really, we have to go out there and put a performance in for them. And with a cup final, sometimes that it's really down to that desire and who wants it more. And I feel the players showed that from the first whistle on, that they wanted it more and weren't going to let anyone down today. And also, as part of the management team, obviously we've built up quite a while to this in terms of the prep, and it's starting from when we played them 2 weeks ago and not showing our hand to a certain degree, playing certain players who weren't going to play today. And I think that enabled us to have the start that we did. And that was part of the game plan, assessing what they did. They're very strong in the middle, so our game plan was to build up with three, come around the sides and wide. And when you've got Noah as well, who absolutely terrorised their back four, it's always going to be a great outlet. And yeah, I think the boys deserve it. I said, for the effort that they've put in, it was tough, as you can see with the players coming to support us today, that we had to leave some out, and obviously people on the bench today. But all in all, as I said, it's all for the cause. Everyone's here for the team. It wasn't about any individual today. It was about the collective, and we did what we had to do. So it was great. We could support into the season and something to build on for next season.
Yeah, okay. Noah, we talked about being quick off the mark. You, in particular, you set up the first after only a couple of minutes. Joel headed it in, but do you want to talk us through the build-up?
Yeah, it was a quick throw from Tammy, and I just rolled my defender. And to be fair, we've actually been doing a lot of like third man runs for like the midfielders. So once I rolled them and I gone to the bar line, I just put it in a good area, just hoping for one of the midfielders to be in there. And luckily, Joe was there to tap it in.
Did you see him, or was it just
No,
put
I
it in
don't
an
want to
area?
say I just put it in the area. Like I said, we've been working on it in training, so I just put it in the area,
Okay, yeah, fair
hoping
enough.
that everyone was listening to our training drills, and thankfully Joe was. So
Okay,
just nod it
okay.
over.
Well, turn to Sham. If it's a question about training, we turn to Sham. Was that how you dreamt it then?
To be honest, I was lost for words. I thought the game would be much more tighter. I thought it would be a more end-to-end game. But the way we started, me and Paul talking outside, there's been so many times this season when we started games well in the league, but we haven't taken our chances. And you heard Geoff give numerous interviews. When it comes to big chance conversion rate, we haven't been great at it. But today, the first three main chances we got, we buried them. And that changes the feeling of the game, the confidence. Their confidence is shattered after that. You're 3-0 down at half time.
Yeah.
And goals change games. And today, we took our big chances.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So we added the second very shortly after. I think we were 2-0 up after 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Jacob was sort of key to that goal. He's probably the player that Geoff's thinking about. Didn't really show our hand when we played him in the league with him on the wing.
Yeah, exactly that. And also with Noah as well, the first league game of the season, when we played the SC Dons, Forest Hill, Noah played through the middle and we knew he terrorised them. And obviously Scored, yeah. And then, as you said, we kept quite a lot of things in our pocket for this game. So the last league game of the season, we showed them a few things. I know for a fact, obviously, looking at their videos online, they were worried about Briggsy and whatnot.
Yeah.
But as we said, not put him through the middle. Jake started. Different sort of setup, the way we were setting up from the playing out from the back and whatnot, and it worked to a treat.
Okay.
And lovely when, as a management team, you put ideas together, training sessions together, you plan it for 2 weeks, and the players just do everything you say to a T, and it comes off.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I said Jacob was key to it. I'll get loads of stick if I don't mention that Fred put it away.
What an end to the season.
And he was also responsible for the third one as well. So a brace for Fred Taylor should be acknowledged. Big game player.
He is.
He is, and it's a great end to the season for him. Had a little bit of a dip towards the end, but that's going to happen naturally. Do you know what I mean? After the season that he's had, but one of the top goal scorers in the league, and we're not talking about just back post tappings. We're talking about some real quality goals that he's pulled out the bag and to get us results. And I think it was a great end to the season for him, and for a lot of the players as well coming to form. Obviously Noah, we know what he's capable of, and obviously by his standards, he will say he's had just a below average season for what he's capable of. He should be top scorer of this league, easy. And obviously the last sort of 5-6 games again, he's showed the league, how ruthless he could be. So Yeah, I think we're in form at the wrong time, you could say, coming towards the end of the season. But we've often spoke about teams higher us in the table that we sort of maybe not winning or getting the results against again. And towards the end of the season, we drew against Croydon, we drew against Dons, we beat them today. That's what you need if you're going to go up further up the league, compete for leagues, get to playoff and semi-finals. You have to do that more. And I think this will only show belief towards the players that they're capable, and we keep this core together, building it, working a few things. I don't see why, again, we can't have a real good go at it. You aim for the league, and if not, then the playoffs is a consolation, and that should be always be our aim with the quality that we've got in this dressing room.
That was the sort of general consensus at the beginning of the season. We said we wanted to win the league, and we couldn't win the league. We wanted to go via playoffs or minimum a trophy.
Right,
Obviously,
okay.
and today was a chance.
Yeah.
We didn't get one of them. Our away form wasn't great. We learned a lot of things in this league this year about ourselves as well, away from home. That we, as Geoff said, our away form's got to get better. We've got to beat teams in and around us. But the gauntlet was set for them before the game. We said the league and the trophy. We can't do the league. Let's make sure we bring a trophy home for all the fans. And the boys done that. So I'm really happy for the boys and the fans and yourselves.
It was brilliant. Half time, second half, obviously they were, I think, they'd had quite a lot of possession anyway. They were always going to come back into it a bit. They got one back through the penalty. After that, it was reasonably comfortable. I'd have been worried if they got another.
Potentially, I think, and then we had some enforced substitution. We didn't really want to, in
Yeah,
a game
sure.
like this, you don't
Lot
want to
of
change
injuries.
it first 15 minutes. You just want to, get it. So, credit to people like Charlie coming in, Geoff dropping in, Cam as well was that sort of target. Exactly what we needed at that sort of time. Briggsy coming in, steadying the ship. All the subs came in and made an impact. Andre as well. That extra little bit of energy, carrying the ball towards the corner. Could have had a couple of opportunities himself, and that's what we want really. As I said, competition for places. Because you think about the players who've been left out, the players that are injured, Ross, James G, a few of the other players as well, who would have been in contention. It's credit to them, and we just had to see it out. As I said, when you had the 2-goal cushion, you're not really worried. You know what I mean? Obviously, once it gets to one, then you got to really sort of be aware of what's happening. But ultimately, it did come down to a pen. They didn't really score from open play.
No.
So relatively, as I said, once we got the first goal, considering their record of late of only scoring one goal, we sort of knew, we're in a good position here. And then the second one went, and you think, okay, cool, now it's about managing the game. And that's often what we want to try and do as much as possible. Start on the front foot, start quickly, get early goals and manage the game. That's what we generally do at home, but we've got to try and implement that away from home as well. But there's a lot to come from the team. And as I said, we're just happy with the scenes you saw today with the cup, with the fans being able to celebrate, obviously with the flags at the end, showing our beliefs and, what we support. And that's the core values of our club. And it's great that we can share it with everyone today.
Yeah, I wanted to come on to that. This is an amazing thing that's happened on the pitch, but off the pitch, there's obviously been an FA decision to exclude trans players from our women's team, and I think that's our big battle in the summer. Obviously, there was a great degree of solidarity with the flags and some players' actions as well.
Yeah, and you saw that with the flags, obviously waving with the trophy as well, and it's a celebration to us, and of what we, as I said, our core beliefs are and what we're going to fight. And it's not the first fight we've had with the FA, so it's just and that's it. And we're going to continue going. We're supporting with our club, and hopefully other people around can support us as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, many congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant to end up with a trophy. Sham, you want to say?
One more thing I've got to say. At 3-1, you'll kill me if I don't mention it. The skipper Jack pulled off a great save.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. If that goes in.
Yeah.
The last 8 minutes will be squeaky bum time.
No, that is true. That is true. I was sitting. I was standing. I was standing next to his dad at that point, so I didn't want to make too much of it. But,
And he's another player who sometimes goes unnoticed. It's something we expect from Jack, don't we? Those sort of saves, in big games, big moments as well, and that's why he's a skipper. But we value him as much as possible.
Yeah.
And, and I think it's a fair enough shout as well. But as we say, we're back again next season, and
enjoy the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.